September 7th, 2024. I believe this is the day that Donald Trump has formally admitted he cannot win the election at the ballot box and instead will attempt to subvert democracy by having states fight him in court, delaying certification, preventing it at the House level, trying to have alternative electors get involved at the states, prevent the Electoral College from giving either candidate 270 votes, and then attempt to have Republicans in the House make Donald Trump the president against the wishes of the American people. Why do I say that? Well, all of that's been a public plan. And now we have this statement from Donald Trump. Cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely because I know better than most the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. Remember, the 2020 election went through all of those court cases, and it was done fairly. Joe Biden won the 2020 election, and the people going to jail, people going to trial, are Donald Trump, fake electors, Tina Peters, Mike Lindell's getting sued, Fox News is getting sued. The truth is out there. But this is a repeat, and they're going to use the lessons they learned last time to delay things even longer. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny, and when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences so that this depravity of justice does not happen again. Remember, though, Donald Trump, they don't want him to go to prison or even charged. Same with any of MAGA, all the way to the J6ers. But let's continue. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please beware that this legal exposure extends to, and this is important, lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Now, you might be wondering, why is there such an extensive list there? Well, people like Mike Lindell have a plot. They have a plan. They want you, as the voter, to follow his plan that he shared on Truth Social. Frank Speech. They all have their own, don't they? And on there, his plan includes you requesting a absentee ballot, mail-in ballot, going in on election day, trying to cause issues, demanding that your issues of whatever you cause gets written down, and then you can go turn it over to whoever is going to try to take things to court. They want MAGA to try to cause issues. Now, at the same time, there are also certain sheriffs that have come out and made statements, and MAGA has been courting them to attempt on election day to seize the voting machines, to literally seize them, claiming that crimes have been committed, and seize them so that people can't vote. Saying, oh, they'll just revert to paper ballots, which isn't legal in many places. It would be preventing people from voting, which is a Republican mainstay. This is a threat to the people working those polls when they attempt to break the law. You get in Trump's way, if he succeeds, he's going after you. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels unfortunately never seen before in our country. So this is all a threat. This is a threat to your local polling place. That's how I read this. Now, what are some of the plots they have? Well, we have Mike Lindell planning to deploy WMDs, which is what he calls them, to different polling places to read out Wi-Fi names and things like that, and then try to take it to court and claim something wrong happened. We have Mike Lindell's plot to have people cause issues on election day and then try to take that to court. Now, of course, the RNC has put a extreme amount of money into lawyers already because they knew they were planning to take it to court. In certain sections of MAGA have been very public about a plan, a plot that includes them winning the House, and then once they have control of the House, when it comes time for January 6th, refusing to certify the vote. Because remember, Donald Trump keeps talking about how Mike Pence should have done something. And then, when that happens, they want to also fight the different states, prevent them from sending their electors to Electoral College in any way they can, and prevent 270. Well, what happens in America when no one gets 270? The top three candidates, the House gets to decide who is the winner. Doesn't matter how many votes they have in the Electoral College. If the Electoral College can't get to 270, the House decides the president. Now, this is a very all or nothing strategy because if Democrats really cling to this and they really push that this is the plan, it could drive out Democrat votes. And this is during a year where abortion is on the ballot, which is going to drive out Democrat votes. Which is why states like Florida and multiple others are attempting to actually remove abortion from the ballot. States like Texas are trying to take action against people, that are Democrats. We have them raiding offices based on claims of someone who claims someone else said something that was then said on Fox News. That's also been disproven already. They aren't planning to win at the polling place. They've been open about that. They aren't really even planning to win in court. They just need to tie things up long enough to hand Trump the presidency. Now, will this succeed? It seems Project 2025 doesn't think so. They don't think it's going to win. They don't think it's going to work. Why do I say that? Well, Project 2025, if you watch my previous video, they announced Project 2028. Didn't give specifics, but you'll note that it's not Project 2029. I believe they're going to take the failures of the attempt of this of 2020. Remember, Mike Pence, that was the guy they were banking on. They were banking on this plan in 2020. I think they are banking on the same plan 2025 because Trump is old and weird and can't learn anything, and he just wants to do a repeat. Maybe they'll succeed this time, but I think Project 2025 now believes he won't. Probably because abortion's on the ballot. So they're planning for 2028. Now, to me, what does that signify? This exact plan, but run by people that aren't Trump, pushed by people that aren't Trump, where they have what they would consider more competent agents pushing these ideals and these ideas. They wouldn't be using Mike Lindells. They wouldn't be using Tina Peters. They wouldn't be using Donald Trump. They'd be using people that they hand-selected. I think that's the plan. I think they think Trump loses. I think Trump thinks Trump loses. At the very least, I think Trump thinks he doesn't win on a ballot. Now it's an election. Anything can happen. He could still win, especially with Republicans doing actions like trying to take abortion off the ballot. But I don't think winning the election fairly is something Trump's behind anymore. And what's sad is I don't think the media is going to cover the possibility of them trying to have the House select Trump as president, even though they're public about it. Groups are talking about it. It's not new. I think I have videos from months ago talking about different groups discussing how they want that to happen, how they're planning that out, how they prefer it be done, how they needed Trump's help to get that going. But they should. And if they do, September 7th, 2024. To me, this is an admission. This is him saying, you out there who's doing this plan, let's do it. And where's the money to fund all of this? Laura Trump. Family members running the RNC, funneling money into that. Trump is reportedly pulling money out of swing states and states that he thought he could win, battleground states. Why? Well, he doesn't need those states if he can have, other states where he can attempt to just remove votes entirely from the system. States where he thinks he can clog up the courts. He doesn't need the voters. He doesn't need MAGA. He needs a team of lawyers and a few select people in the House. He needs the Speaker of the House. There's even talk in some MAGA circles about if Republicans lose the House, they take action to try to prevent the seating of the new House members, so it all comes down to Mike Johnson. The same Mike Johnson that reports are saying is planning to shut down the government because they think it'll help Trump in the election. Now, what do you counter this with? The only way to counter it is to win, as Democrats, extremely hard. You win by a lot. You win by so much that even if they're successful, even if they don't certify on January 6th, even if it gets sent back to the states, even if those states pull people from the Electoral College, even if all of that occurs, Kamala Harris still has 270 votes. That's the only way to beat it. And that's why Republicans are pushing so hard to get things like abortion off the ballot. Because as much as Donald Trump says, we taught it back to the states, we brought it back to the voters. No, you didn't. Because they know it's destroying him. Rovember's coming. He's terrified.